Crews continue to battle two North Texas fires this afternoon. Welcome to the news here at 4. I'm Jason Wheeler. Those fires are northwest of DFW. There is the Bear Hollow fire near Jacksboro and the Sleepy fire in Palo Pinto County. So far, the Bear Hollow fire has burned at least 400 acres, and at last check, that was just 25% contained. The Sleepy Hollow fire reached more than 120 acres, but there is some good news to report there in Palo Pinto County. Crews now have that fire at 85% containment as of the last update. Of course, one of the things that is absolutely crucial for those firefighters is the weather condition as they are out there battling those blazes. Meteorologist Mario Ruiz is keeping an eye on what's happening with these fires and what those conditions look like out there. Hey, Mario.
Hey there. Good afternoon there, Jason. And today, the good news is that the winds are actually very light and humidity is on the climb over the next several days. That is going to be a factor when fighting these fires. But just to give you another view of where these fires are, this is west and northwest of DFW. And of course, Bear Hollow, like Jason just mentioned, 25% contained now, and Sleepy Fire, 85% containment. But we look at the humidity very often, especially this time of the year. Generally, we're talking about high humidity that leads to a high heat index. Today, we're talking about low humidity still. Anything under 30% considered low and considered fuel for fires. And right now, west of DFW, we're looking at anywhere between 25 to 30% humidity, slightly higher by a few numbers than yesterday, but still on the dry side. Something else with dry weather comes heat index that isn't so drastically different from the actual temperature. But with dry weather, we also see temperatures climbing a bit faster. At the top of the hour, we have made it to 100 degrees for the 12th time at DFW. It feels like 101, so the heat index, again, not a drastically different number from the actual temperature. Several spots making it into the triple digits, by the way, with 100 in Denton, 101 in Fort Worth right now, but it feels like 102 in Denton, 103 for the heat index in Fort Worth. Still dangerous kind of heat. And what you have to know is that the humidity is climbing. Our heat index will also climb. That means heat alerts are not going to be far away. We'll talk about that here coming up in just a bit, Jason.
All right, Mariel, thank you for that. Tarrant County commissioners could soon cut more than 100 polling locations ahead of the November general election. We got news, though, just moments ago that their vote has now been tabled. But before that happened, the public got to speak today, and there were a lot of people who had a lot to say. Brittany Costello was there and tells us that meeting got heated fast.
People are weighing in on a proposal that would cut polling locations across Tarrant County. More than 100 people signed up to speak today with 2 overflow rooms. All but one spoke out against the proposal. The county judge removed several people for what he called disruptions. Take a listen.
All of you are remove him immediately from the room.
I'm walking out, you small man.
You have disrupted this meeting.
County Judge Tim O'Hare stopped public comment several times today. Eventually, he removed everyone from Commissioner's Court. Instead, he called people in one by one to give comments. One man was arrested during his comments. He was carried out by deputies. The proposal they are speaking out against would cut more than 100 polling sites on Election Day from the same time in the 2022 midterms. It would cut sites for early voting, too. People are calling the move voter suppression, saying it would disproportionately impact Black and brown communities.
One can't help but notice where these cuts are concentrated.
As the population surges, you are proposing slashing access to the polls. This is a naked attempt to make it harder to vote.
And let's unseat every elected official who supported limiting our access to the ballot box.
Commissioners are discussing the proposal right now, with County Judge O'Hare saying he too was surprised by the number of polling locations. We will have much more tonight at 6. In Fort Worth, I'm Brittany Costello.
All right, it is just shy of 4:05 in the afternoon. Here are 3 things happening today you should know about. In less than 2 hours, McKinney City leaders will hold a final vote on plans for a mosque near 2 neighborhoods. The McKinney Islamic Association submitted the expansion plan in 2024 for a building, sanctuary, and gym. People against the mosque expressed concerns about traffic and the growth of Islamic communities in McKinney. Tonight's meeting starts at 6 p.m. A U.S. Senate committee pushed forward Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's nomination today. He'll now head to the full Senate for a final confirmation vote. This comes after his confirmation was delayed by key senators asking him to officially kill President Trump's anti-weaponization fund, which critics call an unprecedented slush fund. Those critics believe that that fund has only been temporarily set aside, though, just so Blanche can get through the confirmation process. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says negotiations are progressing over the Strait of Hormuz. This comes after a Qatari spokesperson announced a possible agreement being circulated. There are no signs of direct talks between the U.S. and Iran, but the stock market here reacted positively today to the developments, the Dow jumping more than 900 points. Gas prices still rose today as well. Wouldn't it be nice if they went down soon? Because we know that some people are going to be sitting in traffic a little bit more in the mornings and in the afternoons, because back to school has a real impact on that traffic.
Yeah, just a little bit. We kind of had just a different type of traffic pattern this summer since we had all those visitors for the World Cup. That ended right around the time that school's going to start kicking back up.
Thank goodness we didn't have both of those overlapping. Yeah,
that was good point. You had a couple weeks of just basically normal summer traffic in DFW, but that's about to stop, y'all, because kiddos are heading back to school this month and traffic is definitely picking up. It's going to have a big impact on your morning commute, and then by mid-afternoon, you're really going to see things start to pick up as well. Right now, we're just watching a little bit of traffic along Central Expressway. On the southbound side, you had one of those lanes blocked at Mid-Park. They've moved it over, but traffic, as you can see, is still heavy in that area. Even though it's been moved off the main lanes, it's still impacting, I think, one of the exit lanes there. 635 at Jupiter, a little bit of road work on the westbound side, not slowing anyone down. This had a bigger impact earlier this afternoon, and we're watching heavier traffic along I-35E on the southbound side at Wycliffe. Do want to let you know you have a closure that's going to affect I-35E right there at PGBT. This is in the Carrollton-Louisville area. I'll be telling you about that when I check with you next. Jason?
All right, All right, how would you like to be able to check out Cowboys training camp? The boys are going to be returning from Oxnard to host 2 public practices in Frisco at the end of this month. We have all the details about that on our website, WFAA.com. In the meantime, though, there is a guy who is seeing the action up close weeks before the rest of us get to, so we'll all just have to live vicariously through him right now. His name is Mike Leslie. He's in Oxnard, California this afternoon with how it is going for those Cowboys. Hey, Mike.
You're living vicariously through me now? I like it. Things are good. Things are good. It is beautiful out here, and we saw another good day of work for the Dallas Cowboys. The defense was really sharp yesterday. Today was a little more even. Both sides of the ball had their fair share of good moments on what was day number 2 of fully padded practice out here in Oxnard. We saw one-on-ones for the first time in any of the practices so far since they have come here to California. An opportunity to crank up the intensity a little bit and see how these guys respond in moments where they have a chance to prove what they can do out on the field. We saw Kavontae Turpin get the better of Caleb Downs on one rep. Then we saw Caleb Downs completely shut down Ryan Flanoy on another rep, and he was just one of several who had some really good moments. But to get properly ready for the intensity that is happening out here, there are a lot of these. Guardian caps, the helmets that the Cowboys players are wearing over the course of training camp, have a little extra padding on the outside of the helmet to help cushion the blow of a big hit, protect the brains of these players as they thud up throughout practice. Certain players with certain helmet styles are required to wear them. It is all a part of the NFL's continued effort to make the game as safe as they can relative to brain health. And Brian Schottenheimer talked about how it all works today.
It's league mandated. The Guardian caps are serving a purpose. If you're in certain types of helmets, you don't have to wear them. There's rankings for the helmets. I won't get into specifics of it. It's a color system. But if you wear certain helmets, you don't have to wear the Guardian caps. If you're in helmets that don't meet some of those specifications, then you have to wear the Guardian caps. And then kickers and quarterbacks don't have to wear them.
And we saw intensity of another sort today during practice. Brevin Spanford and Donovan Ezeraku getting into a little scrap after a play, so much so that Ezeraku was sent off for the rest of practice because they're trying to keep that kind of thing just a little bit under wraps. Jason, back to you.
Wow, fights at camp there. It happens, though. Mike, it's been great living vicariously through you. I bet you're a lot more comfortable than we are here. So, you know, it's a thing. Appreciate it, man.